Can I help you?
Hecky's the quartermaster here. She's got everything you'll need.
Shield brother?
This is...
Lean, you son!
Rattlesnake was a vain and ugly creature. He crawled in dark places and avoided the other desert animals. He was lonely but refused to act like it. One day, while sitting under a rock and wishing to be happy, he saw a desert runner sprinting past. "Wait," it called to the bird. "I have a favor to ask of you."
Well, 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 never seen your face before. Can't say I like it. Listen up, Dogface. There are two rules in Bonetown. Number one, Mayor Eswin's law is absolute. Number two, if you don't like rule number one, then you'd better get your ass out of town. Now go meet the mayor yourself. He likes to know what the kobolds kicking from the wastes, especially with the families running wild. Listen to that. You're fitting in pretty well already. I'll see you around Whitestone, Dogface. He's a dangerous man, and he'll stop at nothing to bring ruin to Whitestone. Luckily, the mayor knows how to deal with crooks like Scoria. Miners. And they used to make a good living, too, back when Modus Mining had its teeth in Apatia. When Modus pulled out, the money dried up. Now most of them are criminals. A nasty lot. The Zungars are the worst. The Darkvari and the Sinrig know Leonis dance as well. There's plenty of them. Just ask Kara, or walk a few paces out of Whitestone in any direction. Sometimes they even come into town. A few weeks ago, I caught a bandit trying to slip into the mayor's window. Fool. He's been locked up in a cage ever since. As an example. Liana was first sworn. They called her the Desert Runner, and you do well to learn her ways out here. He's not from around here. A city boy born and raised in Myria. Came to seek fortune, but landed in Apatia right when Motus Mining cut their losses. You'd think he'd wither in this desert, but it was his idea to bring in the mercenaries. With Mayor Eswin in Whitestone, we have a fighting chance. People call it Bone Town because of the pale rocks jutting up from the sand. And because of the death rate.
Hello.
Good day. You're probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, if you're fond of a good story, lend me your ear. I won't disappoint. I'll try to keep it short, even though I've got all the time in the world for embellishment. Sinriks, Darkvari, Zungars, and Scorias, all bastards. Not half as bad as these guards. They can't catch all of us, and we can't kill all of them. I am no one of consequence, something the guards in Whitestone failed to realize. However, if you ask my father, he'd take my side. I'm a complete disappointment. Look, I'm in a cage in the middle of this town. What do you want me to say? I'm not really in a good position to talk about it right now. What did I do? Nothing. I just happened to bear the name Darkvari, a crime in Apatia in these trying times. The mayor's blade seized me at the gates of Edessa. Here's the trick of it. I was leaving home, slipping free of my familial bondage. I'm no thug. I am guilty of but one crime only. Stealing a girl's heart. Her name is Hrindi Zungar, and at this very moment she waits for me with no word of my whereabouts. Please, stranger, will you help me? She is the sun that comes to warm me every morning. We met a short time ago, mere weeks, but true love has no memory of time. Yes, Zungars and Darkvari aren't exactly kin. In fact, they're sworn enemies and rivals. Imagine how powerful they'd be if they shared blood instead of spilled it. I knew I liked you, from the moment I laid eyes on you through these enormous iron bars. Getting the key won't be easy. Bjorn, the head of their mercenaries, carries it on his person. I wouldn't want to be the one who has to rifle through his pockets. I care not for stale poison. I doubt the Zungars and Darkvari even know why they're angry. It's an old hatred, old as the red stone. Hrindi and I want none of it. I've promised to rescue Hrindi from her family's life of corruption. She deserves more than a shack along the snake tail. She deserves Sky Blossom, Whispers. I've been in this cage for weeks, but Hrindi will wait. We swore an oath to each other. Bjorn's men are ridiculously loyal. Try to catch him alone, out of the friendly eye. If you don't, our little agreement will end up rather short-lived.
You there. You look like you could use some coin. That didn't sound quite right. Let me try again. Are you interested in some work? If so, the mayor of Whitestone is hiring. The work is bloody, but what work isn't nowadays? Go check the bone wall. There's something there for everyone. Not a weakling in the bunch. Every one of them with a thirst for combat. They'd kill you for a single coin. In a way, it's almost impressive. The Zungars are the worst, but the Darkvari and Sinriks aren't much better. Don't worry about the Scorias. They're everywhere, but harmless, like roaches. The Bone Wall is where we post bounties and contracts. I'm sure you can guess how it got its name. The Sinriks are handsome boys despite their ways. They always give me a smile from afar, too scared to get close. The Darkvari are a miserable lot, but don't let the rags and rusty daggers fool you. What they lack in skill they make up for in brute force. Ah, so you've been talking to Bjorn, have you? I'm not that interested in the war-sworn stories. I much prefer the pay. You'll have to talk to Mayor Eswin about the Scorias. He asked us to focus on the other families first. I don't know much about it. Mayor Eswin brought me and Bjorn down first, out of Ironfast Keep. The pay is weak, but so is the enemy. If I were you, I'd stay in town, avoid the wastes. The desert is crawling with kobolds, and just about every human you find out there is going to want a piece of you. The Zungars killed the first group of mercenaries that Eswin hired. Raided Whitestone the very next day. We've held them off for a while now, but they're tough, even for Warsworn. So long.
We see few enough strangers in Ironfast. Well,
He made the river in the arc of the great snaketail. When that grew tedious, he turned his attention to the cliffs, the dunes, the depths.
Normally, I'd advise you to take a leap off that ledge, but at the moment, I find myself in need of aid. Don't think you'll get anything out of it, though. I certainly won't teach you anything. An old man who's had his fill of the world. It possesses a certain remarkable beauty that is hard to appreciate with a wounded leg. Off in the southeast among the hills, overrun now with those spear-hefting overgrown cats. I'd keep my distance if I were you. Once in a while, some fool comes to plead on bended knee for lessons. Bah! If you don't know, there's no use telling it. Damned kobolds is what. Poison spear to my leg and it's begun to fester. There are things for it, easy to gather myself. If I could walk! Foul stuff! I never touch it. The natural course of healing's best, if you ask me. Iron fast? What could they possibly... All right, just help me with this leg. Ugh. I'll need spider sac ichor, fenrac from the canyon below, and grist from a Jotun's cookpot. Can you get me those? Before the gnomes opened up that damned mine, wasn't a single one in Menethir. Meddlers, that's what they are. Always think they know best, but they never do. Believe me. Oh. Oh.
The summer fae suffered the winter's onslaught. They collided amidst lightning and fire, and a god storm gathered up the land in its embrace, crushing it. Do you remember the steady rain? The hail of bodies, both wintry and warm? It was a sword carving the plains with death.
About bloody time. Spider gland for the festering, Fenrak for the pain, and Stugris to keep my strength up. You've done me a good turn, stranger. I live a hermit's life, so have little to give. I hope you'll take this as thanks. You'll get nothing else. What a great and austere beauty it holds. A beauty best enjoyed alone. Once in a while, some fool comes to plead on bended. If you don't know, there's no use. Oh, that. Well, tell me, what's going on that old Braskin can't handle on his own? I still know him. I came to Menethir because of him, the only man in all Amalur I respect. What? He's dead? Then he never mended that sword. And that green apprentice is left alone, half-trained. Damn it all, I swore I'd never... But the blade and the apprentice... Apprentice and the blade... It won't do. I must go. Bring me a compound known as Master's Tallow from Hervar's Dorsil, and the sword is yours. I'll be at Ironfast waiting. A rare wax of golden hue, with some remarkable properties regarding metal and flame. It will be needed to mend that sword. He would visit me some nights, and we'd talk of stars and old ways and the blacksmith's craft. He alone never once asked me why I live apart. Hervar's Dorsil by name, just north of the river. A madwoman lived there some years ago. She had perfected the art of making Master's tallow. She's gone, but I think you'll find some tallows remained. Be swift. Now that I've begun, I...
Dust, dents, and the heights of Menetier are thick with Jotun.
What do you need?
You have the Master's Tallow? Then let's begin. Lords of Iron and Fire, it's good to be back at the forge. Brace yourselves now.
We're fighters here, not toy soldiers.
Behold, Haldebeer's blade, strong and whole. As you made this possible, I insist that you take it. A hero deserves a hero's sword. Now, if you're done gawking, I have a clumsy oath of an apprentice to train. I swore I'd never take another student, but for you and Gavroche here, I'd make an exception. The boy's green as a new blade of grass, but he's got an eye and an arm. He'll learn yet. My work here won't keep me from it. I shall never tire of its open sky or those great red rocks. That's a remarkable sword I gave you. Treat it well.
Dust, dents, and scars. That's the iron-fast way.
Nothing worse than sand inside your armor. Greetings.
There! Ah, you have the totem? Good. We've made some enemies, so now we must make the feeling mutual. Kill 3 Jotun chieftains known as the Ragnar's Chosen. Their deaths will enrage the Ragnar like nothing else. After killing each of the Chosen, plant one of these kobold daggers in his chest. That should do the trick. They'll be up among the Jotun on the heights, spreading their Ragnar's word. Remember, after you've killed... Look! It begins!